You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Sponsored by Hennessy Haight, Help is Here, and by Flowing Tide Pub.
Daniels under duress and taken down. A three-man rush. It's Antonio Doyle Jr. that gets home.
I just want us to go harder. I tell people all the time, this is what I preach in the D-line room, is that when you get better, like, things get harder. Like, don't think it's gonna get easy because you're 3-0. Take the things that you've done, let it build your confidence, but understand it's more. We put in all this work and got 3-0. So to go be 5-0, 6-0, you have to put in more work.
Sluka breaks a tackle, breaks another into Kansas territory. It's a foot race. Sluka finally goes out of bounds.
I mean, everybody's in the building really early. Everybody stays real late and, puts in a lot of work, and that was something different that I've seen. I mean, we always put in work previously, but this is the next level of, being dedicated to the game and constantly watching football and constantly just finding ways to get better and sending each other things in group chats and stuff, different plays, ideas, and, just a ton of different things that always just constantly revolve around football.
Welcome into the RebZone. The undefeated ranked Rebels are on a bye this week, but like Antonio Doyle just said, the work doesn't stop for this team, trying to improve to 4-0 this week, kicking off Mountain West play against Fresno State on Saturday. It has been a historic start to the season for UNLV, jumping into the coaches poll for the first time in program history, ranked at number 25. And also, what a huge start for the Rebels, defeating two Big 12 opponents on the road and dominating Utah Tech at home. UNLV 3-0 for the first time since 1984, and once again, this go-go offense is off to a fast start. The Rebels set a program record with 695 total offensive yards in their 72-14 win over Utah Tech. UNLV opens up the 2024 season on the road at Houston. The dual-threat quarterback Matt Sluka from Holy Cross takes the first snap under center. Sluka connects to All-American wide receiver Jacob DeJesus for UNLV's first score of the season. The Rebels are on the board first in H-Town. Mike Shear's defense came out ready to play in UNLV's season opener. Cougars quarterback Donovan Smith is sacked by Marcel McDuffie. The Rebels come out rolling on both sides of the ball. Second quarter, what can Jacob DeJesus do? College football's most versatile wide receiver, showing off his elite footwork in the end zone. The Rebels are up 14-0 at the half. UNLV's defense came to hunt the Cougs. Jackson Woodard racked up a career-high 3 sacks, game-high 11 tackles, and 4 tackles for loss on the road at Houston. UNLV has studs at every level this season. Jalen Catalon comes up with his first pick 6 of the season. The Rebels are dominating the Cougars 24-0. The defense holds Houston scoreless all the way up until the 1-minute mark of the ball game, and Houston avoids a shutout. The Rebels pull off the upset on the road, stunning Houston 27-7. Week 2, the Rebels come back home to Allegiant Stadium to host FCS visitor Utah Tech. UNLV football pays respect to the program's only undefeated team, the 1974 Rebels, by rocking this throwback logo on their helmets. And here go the Go-Go Rebels. There's a reason his nickname is Jet Thomas. The sophomore running back has some speed, finishing last year with 12 rushing touchdowns, the most by any freshman in college football. The Rebels jump on the board first. Utah Tech responds. Deacon Hill takes a deep shot to Alec Burton. Nothing but green for Burton, and the Rebels are tied up 7-7 against the Trailblazers. Matt Sluka answers right back. Vegas, get used to seeing this. The hottest show on the strip is the Matt Sluka and Ricky White show. The Rebels are on top 14-7. Sluka would throw 3 touchdown passes to Ricky White in the first half, half, and UNLV takes a dominating 28-7 lead after one. The dual threat quarterback has an NFL caliber arm and can score with his legs. Sluka takes off 30 yards to the house. Sluka's first of many rushing touchdowns at UNLV. Kid is a stud. The Rebs dominated on both sides of the ball. Here comes Jono Baldwin with the pick, loses the ball. Jet Elad recovers the fumble, and the Rebels' INT would turn into a field goal by the Las Vegas native kicker, Caden Chittenden. The Rebels are up 44 points at halftime. The dominance continues in the second half for UNLV. A lot of freshmen making big plays, including the Desert Pines graduate Greg Burrell. The big freshman running back rolls in for his first collegiate touchdown. The thing about Coach Marion's go-go offense, everyone touches the ball. UNLV flexes their depth in the wide receiver room. Timothy Connerly adds 6 more on the board. Later in the fourth, Cameron Friel comes in for Hodge Malik Williams and scores from 1 yard out. The Rebels are breaking the scoreboard at Allegiant Stadium 65-14, and they're not done yet. Devin Green, another freshman running back to keep your eye on this season, shows off his speed, torching Utah Tech. The Rebels scored a historic 72 points at Allegiant Stadium, the second most points scored in UNLV history, and roll into Kansas on a 2-game win streak. Let's head out to Children's Mercy Park, home of the MLS Sporting Kansas City. UNLV and Kansas take the field for the rematch of last year's Guaranteed Rate Bowl. The Jayhawks fly onto the board first. KU in the red zone. Jalen Daniels slips past UNLV's defense into the end zone for his first rushing touchdown of the season. KU takes the lead 7-0. Next drive, Matt Sluka shows off his arm, airs it out 31 yards to Jaden Bradley for the first down, and the drive would end with a 38-yard kick from the Mountain West freshman and special teams player of the week, Caden Chittenden. UNLV trails KU 7-3 after one. Second quarter, Kansas is all gas, no brakes. Jalen Daniels rolls right, and he's off to the races. A 33-yard touchdown run, and the Jayhawks soar ahead 14-3. Next drive, Matt Sluka continues to extend plays with his legs, picking up a first down, and KU's defense would hold the Rebels to another field goal, and UNLV trails Kansas 14-6. Later, Jalen Daniels is picked off on third down by Jalen Catalon, and check out Catalon's speed on his 46-yard return, his third pick of the season. The kid is a certified playmaker. Catalon's INT would turn into 6 points. Here comes the sophomore running back, Jet Thomas, cooks a DB, and he's gone. The Rebels run into the locker room with momentum, trailing Kansas 17-13 at halftime. UNLV settles down in the second half and brings the energy. The preseason defensive player of the year, Jackson Woodard, comes up with his first pick of the season, and Woodard tells me he's got to go race Ricky White at practice to finish in the end zone. Woodard's interception would turn into 3 points on the board. The Rebels trail KU by 1, 17-16 after 3. Fourth quarter, KU leads 20-16, and the Rebels' 19-play drive begins. Bring on the anxiety. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Sluka rushes left and loses the ball. Ball pops out and is bouncing around like a basketball. Kylan James becomes Superman in this fourth quarter, recovering the fumble for UNLV, and the anxiety continues on 3rd and goal. Matt Sluka becomes Lamar Jackson, avoids a sack right here, darts to the end zone, and falls down at the 1 yard line. You can hear everyone's heartbeat in Kansas City. It's 4th and goal at the 1 yard line. Sluka hands it off to none other than senior running back Kylan James, who falls over the goal line, and it's a UNLV touchdown. The Rebels steal the lead 23-20 with 1:51 to play, and KU's quarterback Jalen Daniels is sacked by Antonio Doyle on 4th down, and that's ball game. The Rebels make history, improving to 3-0 for the first time since 1984, and are 2-0 in Big 12 play. bye week, Coach, and we're at the Fertitta Football Complex in your beautiful office right here, just right off the Las Vegas Strip. This facility, Coach, how is it top notch?
It's amazing, and you look at it on the outside looking in, and it's a beautiful structure, but then you get in the building and the flow for our student athletes once they get here in the morning for practice. We have our sports medicine center here, the academic center, coach's office, meeting rooms, weight room, locker room. It's a one-stop shop, and I think that's a little bit more unique than people may think around the country, but it's as first class as a place could be.
Speaking of hard work that you're seeing in this building, sitting down with Antonio Doyle, who's played at Jackson State and Texas A&M, he told me that this entire locker room is focused on winning, really putting in the extra work. What are you seeing from your guys, that extra work living in this building?
Yeah, I think they enjoy being around each other, number one. That's the culture that has been built here by our team. But there's days on either Sunday during the season, time that they don't have to be here, that they're always here, either watching film together, getting extra work in the weight room, a number of those things that really it has become contagious, and guys see the benefit for it. So certainly excited about that, what they have done leadership-wise, but also it's some validation on how things are supposed to be.
Coming up next, UNLV's quarterback has picked up a lot of nicknames this season. Sluka Doncic, Sluka Otani. That's what happens when you're a ball player. We're sitting down one-on-one with the Holy Cross transfer to find out how he's developed his slick moves. The RebZone continues after the break. Welcome back to the RebZone. This is the first time UNLV football is undefeated during a bye week. Barry Odom says his team has been grinding since August 1st, and the work doesn't stop this week, especially for starting quarterback Matt Sluka. Last season, the two-time Walter Payton Award finalist set the NCAA Division I record for rushing yards in a game by a quarterback, finishing with 330 on the ground against Lafayette. Now at UNLV, his ability to scramble and extend plays with his legs are winning ball games for UNLV. Tonight, we're sitting down one-on-one with QB1. UNLV quarterback Matt Sluka is leading the Rebels to a historic 3-0 start to the season. For the first time in program history, UNLV is ranked number 25 in the coaches poll. The Rebels' new dual-threat quarterback knows all about setting program records and NCAA Division I records at Holy Cross. Sluka wrapped up his 4 years with the Crusaders, ranked first in program history in career pass efficiency and second in program history in career rushing yards with 3,583. His competitiveness and drive to win comes from his household.
I have 4 brothers, and we're all really close in age, about 2 years apart each of us, and I'm smack in the middle. So I grew up, I had older brothers to beat up and younger brothers to beat up as well, so there's always competition. We were always battling. I mean, we're best friends and everything, and we did everything together. But just playing those sports, we all just competitive every single day, and we really enjoyed having friends over all the time and just always playing and always doing something.
Football isn't the only sport Sluka has dominated. The lacrosse culture on the East Coast has helped UNLV's quarterback become a dynamic playmaker, extending plays with his legs.
On the East Coast, everybody plays it where I'm from. Kids give up football to go play lacrosse. Kids give up baseball, kids give up everything to go play lacrosse. And so that was kind of just the nature of where I was at. But then for me, it was like, I figured, I've played the best kids in the country at this point. I've played at the top level. Why not go try football, see how it goes. If it goes well and I enjoy it, I'm going to stick with it. If I don't, I could always go back. So yeah, for me, it was just, give everything I got no matter what I do.
3 games into the season, and we've seen Sluka shine in the go-go offense, throwing a deep ball to Ricky White and scrambling to inch closer to the end zone. Sluka was giving us glimpses of Lamar Jackson in the red zone at Kansas.
Lamar is definitely one of them, and then I think Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen are 2 others that I definitely look up to. I like Pat's creativeness in the game. I think he does a great job of just making plays and doing different things. But Lamar is fun to watch.
The New York native is writing a new chapter in Las Vegas, taking a risk moving across the country to make history with the Rebels.
Big done! Big done! That's all you, baby. That revenge is sweet, boys!
It takes a lot. I mean, it was definitely a lot of work, but it's been an enjoyable process. You know, you never really know what the next step is, and so you just got to kind of trust the process in that and just keep going. I mean, you never know where you're going to end up. You never know. Like, I didn't know where I was going to be. I didn't think I'd be moving out to Las Vegas after 4 years. So, you know, it's just, you really never know, and you never know when your opportunity is going to come. So just be prepared for all those moments, and you know, just keep putting in the work, and just, you know, call on those people that you rely on. You know, your close friends, your family, you know, just stay close with them and just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually it'll all, you know, figure itself out.
Every player has a story on this football team. For players like Antonio Doyle, this is his third stop in college football and is calling UNLV the best program he's been a part of. The fifth-year senior played his first 2 seasons at Texas A&M and his last 2 seasons at Jackson State. Doyle is on a mission to be the best leader he can be for UNLV, but his impact goes further than the football field. Take a listen. Tensions were high in UNLV's Week 3 matchup in Kansas City. The Rebels wanted revenge on the Jayhawks after falling to KU 49-36 in UNLV's first bowl game in a decade. A drive that lasted 18 plays and 9 minutes and 31 seconds finished with UNLV running back Kylan James in the end zone. UNLV would steal the lead 23-20 over Kansas, and now it was up to UNLV's defense to say night-night to the Jayhawks.
We do this every day. 2-minute drills, tempo, we do this every single day. We've been in this situation 1,000 times. Let's act like we've been here before. Let's stay poised, let's stay calm, let's go out here and get our reps. And when I just seen guys just dial in, they knew like we had to win this game. And we didn't want it any other way than that. And if we had to finish like the whole season like that, we'll be prepared.
Number 2 has been a monster for UNLV this season. The defensive end has showed off his leadership, physicality, and experience after playing college ball at Jackson State and Texas A&M. Head coach Barry Odom calls Antonio Doyle Jr. an NFL player. And with the Raiders just down the road from UNLV's campus, Doyle has been able to pick the brain of one of the best defensive ends in the league, Max Crosby.
Max Crosby said he attacked his guy's strengths. A lot of us go watch film, look for God's weaknesses, but he say, if I can attack his strength, I can trick him into thinking he can't stop me. So if he a guy who got fast feet, I'm gonna show him my feet faster. He lives at the facility. And it's humbling because, you know, we young, we got a chance to go to the league, we think we do all this and that. But then you hear a guy like Max Crosby who like phenomenal at what he do, and he's living at the facility, it make you be like, why do I even go home? Like, I'm not nowhere near as good as him, and he's still giving all he got.
And just like Max Crosby, Antonio Doyle leads by example. But it's not just his leadership creating a winning culture at UNLV. It's an entire team all in to win a Mountain West championship this year.
This is the most focused program I've ever been a part of. Like any program, when I was at A&M, when I was at Jackson, when I came here, you just feel the energy of guys understanding what they want to do. I've never been around so many guys who wants to win. I've never been around so many guys who come in and stretch. You gotta understand, we stretching on Saturdays, then we stretching on Sundays. These supposed to be off days. But guys up here like these mandatory days. Extra work, our coaches not asking us to get film study. We doing film study as if it's on the schedule. Like, and that right there brings us together. You got Hides and you got Sluka in every morning at 4 or 5 in the morning. And they've been doing that for the last 4 or 5 months. So it's just like real high level focus.
The Rebels are back in action this week against Fresno State. The Bulldogs are one of 4 Mountain West teams leaving to the Pac-12 in 2026. Could UNLV be the next Mountain West team to join the revamped Pac-12? UNLV Athletics tells me, quote, "We continue to evaluate all options. The Rebels aren't looking too far down the road." Matt Sluka told me he hasn't even thought about the playoffs. Here's more from Coach Odom on the Rebels' Week 5 matchup against Fresno State.
Well, I think we understand the things that we do really well right now defensively on really in the front 7 on stopping the run, how we're playing together in the run support with the back end fitting the gaps, either the corner or the safety, perimeter leverage support. But also there's some things that we have done really well on the back end in our coverage zones and man-to-man concepts. So we're going to build on those. I think, fortunately that we haven't even got close to what we're doing on some of the third down blitz tracks that we've got in that we haven't ran yet in a game. And I think just repping those, the more and more that our guys will have confidence when they're called.
Getting ready for Fresno State, being back at Allegiant Stadium, what winning energy do you feel here in Las Vegas?
Yeah, you can feel it. And I know that, it's taken time to grow into what we are today. And we understand that, respect that. And also, it's a responsibility we have to continue to play winning football, to do it the right way. And we're thrilled to have a chance to play at home. We know it's going to be a great home field advantage for us. Our guys are excited about it. We'll be ready to go play.
And UNLV football isn't the only team on campus making history. Malia Shoji and her Rebels made history on Tuesday night, clinching the program's first win over Hawaii in a 5-set thriller. The Rebels put on a show in front of UNLV volleyball's first sellout crowd, 3,117 in attendance. Graduate student Jordan Freeman led the way with a career night, recording a season high in kills with 12 against Hawaii. Over half the roster are seniors and are calling this season the last dance. UNLV looking to finish the year as Mountain West champs and had the Cox Pavilion rocking on Tuesday night. Thanks for watching the RebZone tonight. We'll see you next Sunday with head coach Barry Odom right here on Fox 5.